Hello and welcome back to another Patreon replay analysis. So today we are going to be going through Go Blue Mason, the absolute living legends replay. He sent us along a twos replay, specifically, and I'm just going to throw this in there, and not this one. I don't think this was super intended by him, but he titled this one "No Offense Loss." So I'm hoping here we can break down maybe some breakouts or some 50s or things that can help generate a little more offense. Of that, if he's finding that specifically him and his teammate aren't generating any offense. So we could try to maybe diagnose some of the problems that are coming through and go from there. Just real quickly want to check. I had a feeling, yeah. So Sandwich Bagel, I believe this is a longtime teammate of GoBlueMason. He definitely could correct me here, but to my knowledge, they've played together quite a bit and are still working their way up right through, and they're playing against women in STEM. Gotta appreciate the grind. But yeah, so like as per normal, we're gonna take our time rolling through the replay. This month, just as a little caveat that I'm gonna add to all the replays from this month, I was very behind, unfortunately, from some real life events. So I am gonna try to make these last a little longer than normal. Most folks have only sent me one replay because generally I have only gotten through one. If it's, let's say, a little short now, April, I'm gonna give them a little longer, maybe ask for two. If this doesn't go quite as long as I'm expecting. So I'm going to see what we can pull from it and hopefully give Go Blue some good things to talk about. Literally today we were talking in the Discord about some 50s. So I actually am going to be pretty nitpicky on you here. Go Blue, see how your 50s are looking, see how you're feeling, and go from there. I'm loving the germophobia dominus there, the little coronavirus topical, if you want to call it that. And yeah, so to leave nothing left unsaid, let's hop on into the game. I love the little check. I literally will always appreciate folks who peek to see where their teammate is. I love that because technically from every kickoff position, without moving your right stick, you can see whether or not it's yours or not. So for like right now here on the right, he would be able to see if there's someone else in the diagonal. But I love the like extra safety check. Those little things. It's such a little niche thing, but it makes me really happy because it's something I used to do all the time. Every once in a while, maybe I still do it if maybe I didn't notice something, but absolutely adore it. Good follow from your teammate there. I will say, and this is something that, and I'll try my best to give feedback that is kind of relevant, obviously, for you, but something maybe you can pass on. One, love his Stella wheels. I've been so in love with these wheels, and I only have the green ones. Right away, he's cheating, and this is perfect. Like, cheating can go either way. As the cheat, this is a really, really good strat to know when you're playing twos, and this will go for you as well, GoBlueMason. You have absolutely destroyed this kickoff. Beautifully played. You've sat the ball perfectly. Your car, you flipped back in the direction that you were coming from, meaning that you killed any sideways momentum that you had, so you notice your car stays perfectly here. If I'm Sandwich Bagel, I'm not hitting this ball. We already see that there's a goalie sitting back perfectly. So what's the point in going for a shot that's probably going to be easily saved? Instead, I see one of two options here. He should either be calling you off, coming in for the dribble, and then see if he can make a play either way, go in, do whatever craziness or fanciness that he has, or, and this is the big one that I think works very well, especially in the direction that we are headed with the meta. Like I said, you've landed perfectly, so you should be able to take a low 50, as we talked about today, once you come down, if, let's say, he gets by. In my head, if I'm Sandwich Bagel, I'm actually driving past the ball, and I'm going right for Stevo for zero here. I'll just call him Stevo in squad. For Stevo, and I'm looking for a demo. So I'm going to see if I can blast by this ball, get supersonic, and come right through and take out the demo, because then you are having an open walk into the net, as we already know that squad is going to be going across either for this boost or this boost. He's out of the play. He's irrelevant now. He's completely gone. So now if I'm thinking, okay, if you are clearly out of boost, if I'm Sandwich Bagel, I'm the only person generally with boost right now that can make a good play, so why not remove the only other defender that can actually make the play? So that's a huge part, and something that really can change that like cheating meta that a lot of people do tend to follow. I want to watch this a little slower just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So he drives right under the ball and goes right to Stevo, who is actively working his way up. But you see Stevo sees that he's already there and starts to hit the brakes. So he knows that now he has to make a save. And all he's got to do, a shot right down the pipe, right down the middle. Stevo's got an easy jump, easy clear. And if Stevo was any better, that would be cleared right back on your net, right? If I'm Stevo here and I'm seeing the attacker rushing me the way he is with Sandwich Bagel, I'm flipping a little earlier if I'm Stevo right now. Like, I would start my flip now so that when I flip over this way, probably like a good diagonal flip, this part of my nose is going to hit dead center on the ball, and I'm booming that all the way back into your net. So what is a beautiful kickoff and a beautiful follow, you guys played it perfectly, ends up being a rushed challenge that leads into what I would say should be actually a goal against, when realistically you could have easily had a goal for, right? And so instantly I can see some ways that offense can be created better if there's more patience, which feels weird, right? And it feels wrong. And I do definitely want to kind of acknowledge that, of that it makes more sense to be safe in this play rather than rush it. But by being safe, you're actually going to generate a little more offense, which is huge. So something to keep in mind. I know this wasn't you, but I do think there's some value in me bringing that up for you as well, because it's such an interesting and common play, right? Especially in twos when there's as many goals and kickoffs as there are. Good follow. I like the idea. Execution needs a little work. And so let's look at like exactly what this looks like. So he jumps over your head and that ball is pushed off to the side. Right now, this is where you need to make a decision. So you know that the guy who took the kickoff behind you is probably full boost now and going to be getting ready to get back in the play. Steve-O probably has some semblance of boost, maybe not much, but and is going to be landing and probably going to be chasing this ball, which we see he does. And you know that Sandwich Bagel is completely out of the play over here. So he's gone. So you have basically two big decisions. Do you go to the ball and kill time, allowing Sandwich Bagel to get back, or do you go to net while maybe simultaneously shadowing down the line, whatever that may look like, just trying to, same thing, kill time, but allowing the pressure because you don't want to overcommit here. Neither decision is correct. It just depends on your execution. I like that you go for this ball, but watch how wide you turn here and watch how long you take, kind of without even knowing, as soon as this happens. So we're driving, and then we flip, and then we start, and then we kind of hit the brakes, and then we go up and we jump at this challenge, and now he's beat you cleanly, and we've basically killed no time. You've done nothing technically in this play, when in reality, in your head, you're probably like, oh, well, at least like I rushed the challenge, but Sandwich is now going to have to rush back for this play. Luckily, it does get there in time, but that is the big thing you got to keep in mind here. Of like, I want you diagonal flipping now, right? Like, I want you flipping the second you get this, flipping right through this boost pad and right up to this ball, just to instantly hit it in their end, and that means maybe Sandwich gets a side boost and can come back in, and now you guys go to 2-on-1, right? Like, I want this speed here. I don't want the little ounce of kind of slowness that you have. And I know, I think we talked about this last time too, I think I brought this up in replays, the hardest part about knowing speed is doing exactly kind of what I've talked about, of that the decision making that is inherent within it, right? Of that I just told you Sandwich Bagel shouldn't have rushed to that, so he should have played slower. Meanwhile, like literally 2 seconds later off the clock, I'm telling you that you need to be faster in rushing this, right? And so that is where this decision making will really come from. And a huge thing specifically for you that I know I've said to you, like this was a while ago, but I know I've brought up, is I think you need to try to take some chances sometimes in some twos games to really push what you think is the highest level of your speed and see if you can surpass it just by playing. And I think that's a really important part here. So if you start with diagonal flip right through the pad and go right through, there's a very, very good chance you win that ball and get the touch, right? Just by going through, when in your head, you're probably like, oh, like I got there about as fast as I probably could have. No, I want you pushing it so you know that you were the fastest player and you did everything you could to get to that ball rather than going through here. Hands down, best part of this is the fact that you don't like flip into the ball. You don't do anything too crazy. So you allow yourself to instantly be back on the ground, heading back towards the net, securing that full boost, and now being part of the play. Oh, almost secure the full boost. Good try. Don't worry about the whiffs. They happen. But your mindset positioning, everything was flawless there. Great job. Good job cycling back to 9. I was going to say Sandwich is looking a little chasey there on defense, so you playing the safe ball is really good. One thing I really do want to add, and I know I brought this up last time as well, use this idle time, right? This ball pops up. The second this ball pops up, you know for a fact there is no longer danger, because for this to be dangerous, Steve-O is going to have to drive up the wall, jump off the wall, hit it on net, and that's going to take a lot of time. What do we do now? Yes, stay in ball cam, but start acquiring as many pads as you can possibly fathom, right? You want to slurp up every ounce of boost that you possibly can right now, whether it's for defense or for offense in the long run, but you need to be slurping up boost. So you're at 13 right now. You missed one pad coming in there. You drift, you're waiting, you get a pad, you get another pad, and then you flip. And now you're actually coming backwards, the whole different thing that we'll talk about. But you see what I mean? Of like the waiting, use every ounce of idle time you have to stay. So you wanted to stay net there. Great, stay in net, but cycle, circle, get those pads as they're respawning and get yourself up to that 60, 70 area of boost without having to leave the net for a full pad, right? That will start to maximize your speed and your boost usage is by being basically aware enough of what's going on with the play, doing the quick mental math of how much time you have, and then acquiring the pads as you go. Huge part of high-level Rocket League is being able to pull this off. The one thing I want to touch on right away So I said you're waiting, wish you're getting pads here. This ball is hit, and so this is what you got to be watching right now. Sandwich Bagel rushes this touch, as similar to what we talked about last time when there's already a goalie in net. What is this goalie going to do when he sees Sandwich following pretty tight? I would say about 9 times out of 10, he's booming this ball downfield. So the worst possible thing you can do right now, which is exactly what you do, is flip. You start your jump the second he is touching this ball, which is the absolute cardinal sin of decision making here, of the fact that you have decided to commit to doing almost a quarter of the field with a jump, right? Like, yes, you get 2 pads from it, but you've committed so far into the neutral zone when this ball is coming back to your end. So now what do you have to do? You're now playing catch up when you actually just spent all this time waiting in net trying to be safe. You completely negated that positioning by starting that flip. Never, ever, ever, ever start a flip when you don't know where the ball is going next. You should only ever flip when you have a complete control and understanding of where that ball is going. And when the second you flip here and you notice you are now on the recovery and you are now trying to set up the play, you had to take that 50, and luckily Sandwich is able to get that bump to clear up that neutral zone, right? And so I'm sure you see this, and it's so hard to feel it in game. It really is. But as soon as you watch it in replays, and so if, let's say, like me pointing it out, it maybe is the first time you're thinking about this, it's such a bad idea, but it's such a small thing that so many players go without noticing it. So really think about that when you're playing in your games, and I promise you'll start to feel like you're in a little better position more often than not, because you're thinking and being smart about when you're flipping and when you're not. Great job on the back post. Same thing, I do want you getting these pads right over your time. So you come in, you land, you get the full boost, but you boost through it. So you're already 15 down as soon as you boost through it. That's fine, but I need you boosting through that pad right in front of you, but you avoid it. And then you stop. No pads, no pads, no pads, no pads, and now we get a pad. And so you just got a full boost. You've done nothing since getting the full boost, but you're 20 boosts down, right? And is that really the end of the world? Of course not, but I'm going to harp on you for that so hard because I want you being able to stay at optimal boost levels at all times, and that really does mean being efficient with your usage and your laning and all that kind of things. Great positioning here, good angle on the shot. These are the kind of ones, and so this is the hardest part about being at the rank where you're really starting to identify fast aerials and speed and all these kind of things. And this was I went through this probably harder than most. Honestly, it was a really tough thing for me. You double jump aerial to this, so it's technically it's a fast launch, right? So you double jump, and now you're turning out, and now your goal is to get basically around this ball while pointing in this direction so that you can hit like right there to slide that into the corner. I'm sure from this angle, anybody watching sees that this is a hard shot. For anybody, this is a hard shot. There is a ton of value in learning when to double jump aerial or fast aerial and when to single jump aerial, because specifically this ball has a downwards trajectory right now. So all you'd have to do is maybe drive a little closer, jump a little later, and if I get rid of the blue that I've already drawn, drive a little closer and jump a little later, and you single jump. What you can do is you can do the exact same angle, which is a gorgeous air rolled angle. You killed this angle, coming right around the ball here, and as soon as you're on that same angle, oof, what a terrible line. Now you're flipping, and you can use that flip to get a lot more power, a lot more of an angle, and that's where you see those high-level air roll shots, right? It is when they're making those decisions to single jump and use that jump instead. This took me months. Go Blue, like absolute months to get in my head, because the second I felt fast and good and smooth with fast aerials, I never wanted to not do them, right? They always felt like the right option. There is a lot of value in learning this patience and this ability to hold on and use only a single jump, and you can really feel it here as you go out for this ball, because you got a great touch and a good angle, but you could have got a harder angle and a harsher angle if you had that flip, right? To really give it that little extra oomph on the end. And so really something to keep in mind, and it's so small. Please don't like harp on this by any means, but it is a really, really important thing as you continue to get higher level. Good luck on the bumps there. I love it. Same thing. I want you getting pads, right? Great save, but this would have been such an easier save if you had just focused on pads down the field, right? So we land. Let's take a look here. So we land. So you see right away you're not getting it. Instantly, I want one of two things. I want a diagonal, so a little diagonal flip like that to get into the middle lane and driving down the middle lane. Or I want you following the football lane all the way down to the net. Either or works for me. Ideally, we're on the opposite end side of the ball at this point since Sandwich is already cutting off. So I would say probably this is the smarter option, going this way. But if we now, knowing that and keeping that in mind, watch. We're at 24. We're at 13. We get a pad. We're at 25, and that's it. We got all the way back to net with one pad when there was at least like 7 that were on your line, right? That you could have gotten as you're coming back, and you really got to get this to an unconscious point, and the only way to do that is to consciously work on it for the time being, right? And so I really want you being able to do this, because now when you stop, you great drift into net, great back post, you only have 25 boosts to try to make the save, and you sure as hell make use of it. You do a great job there keeping it out, and an even better job with the follow-up, but it would be so much easier if you just allowed that time to put it in, right? And I really want you to know that. Good pass in the middle. Oh, never mind. The cut. Bit of a panic flip, right? And so I don't know if this was your goal or not, but as soon as you come here, this is where, and this is what I'd actually talked about today, using your right stick. So right now, even without the right stick, we already know that this guy isn't challenging because he started his flip, so we don't know where he's going. And if we check on the others, what's his name? Steve-O. Also nowhere near you. So you have absolutely zero pressure, and watch yourself from his perspective. You're just gone, just like that, right? There's absolutely nothing. I don't know if that was a pass or not. I could be wrong. But patience, young Padawan, right? Patience here. I want you dribbling. I want you taking your time. I want you using your right stick. I want you setting up the plays, when instead we end up just kind of get nothing from it, right? Like nothing really generates. And that's a huge part of not generating an offense, is because I'm seeing these rushed, as soon as you or Sandwich get in the neutral zone, you're just like, God, take the ball, right? And you're like, we got to get a good hit because they're going to challenge us and score on us. And it's this like worried and anxious gameplay style that's going to mean you never generate any offense. And I really, really encourage you to think about that and like lose some games doing it, right? Like lose some games holding onto the ball too long, so that you can start feeling out how long you actually should be holding the ball, and when you can play at 50, or when you can flick, or when you should look for a pass, or little things like that. And you will really start to see that difference and feel that difference. And so I hope you can kind of see what I'm talking about there, of that there's a lot of rush challenges thus far, and that's a huge, huge reason that I can already attest that why you're not getting any offense right now. Same thing. As soon as, and this is kind of what I'm talking about in terms of like assessing danger. Steve-O hits this. Great aerial. Great touch. You think you jump, which again, I'm not a huge fan of this flip, because he looks like he's about to get another touch. So why are we flipping? Why are we committing to a direction? He doesn't. So now there's no risk. And could he drive down and catch this? 100%. So you should kind of stop right here for a quick second. He doesn't instantly. The second you see that he's already way past that ball, like he is nowhere near that ball at all. It is like way over here. I want your line instantly securing this boost, because we can already see he's aiming for it. Driving, taking your time, picking up the ball, and working your way downfield. Hopefully Sandwich turns with you, and boom, we have a 2-on-1. This guy's out of the play because he's boostless. This guy's probably still recovering, and just like that, we've generated some offense. Instead, what do we get? We get a little hesitation, a little break. You jump as he comes for you. He managed to secure your boost, meaning Sandwich rotating back isn't going to have any, which is not what we want. And you're aerialing to this ball, meaning that you're not going to catch it by any means, right? And you get a good soft touch, which is great, and you can come in for the 50 instead. I would have much preferred to see you jump at this one, right? So you can see from your camera angle here. Right away, you already see him fully boosting, right? Like you should be watching him as soon as you touch that. You should not be watching the ball, because you already know you're the one who hit it. You know where the ball is going. How are we going to adjust for this 50? You should be watching the opponent, and you don't end up jumping, and he just booms that ball over your head, right? From how late you jump. And now just like that, Sandwich has no boost. Both of them are in the play, and you're out of the play. And they have ball possession, right? Which is just a very, very tough spot to be in. And luckily, they don't really capitalize. Sandwich is able to clear, and you're getting your pads. So we get out of it unscathed, but you can see right away how quickly a good setup for your offensive opportunity can switch into full offense for them. Ballsy boost grab. I'm not going to harp on that one too much. I'm sure you felt that right away. That's about the best feedback you can get in Rocket League right there. But so watch. I actually thought you jumped. Never mind. But this is the same as jumping, right? You've committed to a direction when we don't know where the ball is going. He's touched it. Right now, we have no idea where this play is going, so don't move. Stay where you are. Get a pad, cycle and circle around in this kind of general area. Keep your feet moving, or your wheels moving, whatever, soccer, Rocket League, whatever it is. But don't commit, because you don't know what's going to happen. You are not a genie or a wizard or a psychic, for all I know at least, so you can't make this decision here, but you do. You start boosting to the far boost when we already can see him dribbling at this point, and you realize instantly what you have done. And it was at this moment, GoBlueMason knew, right, that you really, really can't commit to these directions, and I don't want to. I hate seeing it because it breaks my heart, because it's such a simple thing, but it's so like often overlooked by many players, and I'm sure you felt that right away. So, like I said, I'm not gonna harp too much on it, but that does come back to that committing of a direction, right, and that committing into a jump and committing into other things. Good try on the boost steal, good bump. You still get it. That's great. Same thing. Why Sandwich? Why are we hitting this ball? Who is coming right now? That is challenging Sandwich. Literally nobody. Absolutely nobody is coming to this ball. Why are we aerialing, right? What are we doing with this ball that's going to be relevant with you leaving the end, one in net and one in the corner in a perfect defensive cycle position, and him putting the ball in the corner, right? And so, like I said, I'm going to focus on you, but this is important to know, and this really shows why you guys aren't generating offense, because you're not allowing yourselves to. You're just giving away the ball every single time you come up to it, right? You got to work on that confidence with holding the ball and being able to stay tight to it the entire time. It's a good cutoff from Sandwich. Great positioning from you. Beautiful. Absolutely perfect. That's exactly what that should look like. And rotate back to net. Good. Great job. Again, fantastic defense. Great job, man. I really thought you were going to go for the boost here. As soon as this popped up, I thought you were going to go for that mid boost. Would not be a bad idea at all. But the fact that you choose to stay with us because you know you have enough boost to make the play, fantastic. Obviously, we'd love to see this ball more in the middle, less on net, but still. And like I said, you end up giving it away. I don't mind you going for those, right? Like there is some value because you know that one's recycling back and one just wasted his boost on your challenge. So there is some value if they miss, but you need to be able to communicate that well enough that one, you're going to recover in time, and two, Sandwich Bagel is going to be ready for it, right? And he is, so it's perfect. I guess for me right here, my big question is, why are we so far away, right? Like what is the value of being so far away? And to be safe, sure, you're losing and we're almost at the midway point. So don't, like, in my head, we got to be generating offense, right? So we got to be pushing maybe a little more than you normally would. So even in my head, I was like, if I'm a player, I'm probably in the neutral zone at this point, right? Like I'm confident in my ability that if Steve-O wins this, I can quickly recover back to the net and make whatever save I need to. If you're not that confident in your recoveries, it's almost like a scale, right? And so I'm going to quickly go into fly cam here to show what I mean of that. Let's play this again. Sandwich takes it. You get your full boost, and he's following this ball and Steve-O's respecting him. You don't know where it's going yet, so you don't commit. Perfect. That's what I want from you. But what's stopping you from, quote, not committing, I'm using my hands to air quote right now, around here, right? And so maybe you're facing this direction right now, because if he wins it, great, it's a quick turn in. If he loses, you're already facing the direction you need to go meet that, right? Going to net, not a horrible idea. I don't mind if you drift in and then move out as soon as you see what happens. And so I'm gonna keep playing this here. So you can see what I'm talking about. So you're actually almost beautifully followed my line. Very nearly beautifully followed my line. And now you see Steve-O hasn't challenged, so why aren't we moving up, right? Sandwich gets a touch, hopefully. He does. But you're so far back, and you choose to aerial so early that this is such a hard read, right? This is such a hard place to be, when instead I would have much rather you be in this area, like I said, cycling here, and then you can drive to here instead, maybe even further up, like up here, and then aerial to this ball, right? Instead of having to jump from all the way back here, probably aerial up to it, and then have to aerial back down to it, right? And let's watch again from this perspective and see what it looks like. So you're aerialing up, following very nearly the line I'm saying, and then you're like, shit, I'm too high, and now I gotta boost down, and you miss, and now you and Sandwich are both fully committed to this ball, all right? And so that's a big thing you gotta keep in mind. Did Sandwich have a great play? No, but you definitely could have been a lot closer and at least helped him out instead, right? Which is a huge, huge part of this. And Sandwich luckily gets a great touch into the corner to kill some time. Great back post, great pad usage. I want to see you securing that boost, right? Use these routes. So you come through, you see he misses. Great. Full, use all 30 boost right now, right to that boost with a little drift, cut, and come back in. Let's see. And unfortunately now we're without boost because he was able to steal yours and the mid boost, and Sandwich is now hard stuck back, right? And so that's what I'm talking about of these boost securing, of like there's more to it than just defense. Like you're actually providing offense by taking your own back boost, because then they can't trap you in, right? They can't steal all your boosts and do what they're doing. Man, he's loving the demos right now though. Where are we going, right? Where's this headed? Where's the ball going? Do we clear this? 10 times out of 10, yes. You need time, right? But what's the point of this clear, right? When you jump into it like this, you know it's just going to be a good solid hit on the ground. I want to see single jumps. I want to see, even if you can time it without a jump, right? I want air. I want height, right? I want you to pop it so that it wastes more time. With a shot like this, we're just passing it again to Steve-O. All Steve-O's got to do is pop it in. Bing, bang, boom. They're putting it on net. You're chasing bumps, and we're trying to get it out. Sandwich Bagel has a great clear, but you know what I mean, right? Of that, like you have these opportunities to generate offense from defense, but we're not taking them. Good job, great 50. Your moment, boom, attack. You're a lion, right? I want you in on this. This is the intensity you need. Of the second you see this, use that 12 boost, use diagonal flip, roll yourself right through that, right into the ball. Done. Easy. Like, absolute, like I said, you're a predator. You have to be fast here. You really got to throw yourself into these plays. When you're down, there's less than 2 minutes left. One of their players is completely out of the game, and you know your defender's behind you. There's literally no risk to this play at all, realistically. But you're slow. You don't use your boost very fast. You don't throw yourself into it, right? So, right? You see what I mean? Of like this little and then drive, and then a single jump. Like there's no intensity. We need the intensity there, right, to start generating a little more. Because every time, all I'm seeing, specifically on your end, since you do tend to be the safer player, I'm seeing Sandwich chasing down someone in their end who has the ball, who's looking to work it out. You're going to retreat back to net, get ready for the pass or the shot, and then they have a 2-on-1 technically. That has been almost every single breakout, because we don't have any intensity on the pressure, right? Every single time. Good try. Good follow. Well done. Oh, oof. Again, this one, not much of things I can harp on. Just hit the brakes here, right? Like, just hammer the brakes, because as this ball is coming, if it bounces off like this, you can just side flip. If it rolls up, great. Now you can drive in and come back out for it. Like, all you're trying to do here is cut off the angle, but the second that you choose to drive directly into your net here, you just allowed him to have a wide open net to shoot at, right? When you could have used your side flip or something else there, and luckily they're able to take that goal away. And in my opinion, all of this started from just not being able to hold in pressure, right? If I keep ticking back, so watch, you're in the neutral zone. You're in the neutral zone. Good challenge, but I want more speed. You go back. We stay in the neutral zone. We stay in the neutral zone. We stay in the neutral zone. They're over your head. Now you're chasing. This is a great recovery from you. A beautiful drift around. And the same thing, you already see he's full boosting on it. Why are we not flipping now, right? See if we can get like a half pre-flip almost of like, you're going to hit it on the second spin of your car here to try and chip it by him to the left side, right? Like, where I want this intensity. I want you like really trying to push the boundaries of your limits, but you go to straight cam, you wait, and you take a 50 instead, right? And this is where I want you really pushing yourself to see like what are the actual capabilities of GoBlueMason, right? What are the actual skill caps? What can you do? What can't you do? And unfortunately, as much as I said I wish you just stopped there, this play is hard to say like, oh, it's the goalie's fault. It's actually just the fact that we weren't able to generate anything beforehand, right? Which is a huge part of what I've seen thus far in this game. Good job on the pad. Great job on the pads. Beautiful. Beautiful. That play all happened because you were able to grab some pads. That was great. This one breaks my heart. I thought you were looking for it. So look, so this goes over your head. I thought you're driving forward here because you know that Sandwich is coming. Maybe he called it. Maybe something's happening. But you turn back in. Sandwich gets a great touch out to you, and you could have actually been the one breaking that out, right? And so this is where it comes with a little bit of trust from teammates, and especially, man, with a minute left, two goals down, try it, right? You allow another goal, that's okay. At least we're trying to generate offense where we haven't all game, right? Like, how many shots do we have? You have 0 shots. Sandwich has 1. They're out shooting you 6-1 right now, right? And that's a huge, I can't believe one of them has 38 points, but that's a huge part of what's going on here, of that we're not taking risks to generate offense. And to me, as a player, coach, whatever you want to say, my risk assessment tends to depend on the time left in the score, right? So we're winning by 2. Great. I'm not looking for breakouts every single time. I'm just going to cycle back to net and make sure that we're playing steady, solid Rocket League, steady defense, no questions asked. We're down by 2 with a minute left. I'm going for every breakout I can possibly muster up with my team so that we can get hopefully a freebie and make them be back on their heels a little bit more, and then we keep playing our standard Rocket League and going from there, right? There needs to be a little more intensity coming out of these plays, which is another big thing. Great pass back from Sandwich. Oh, unfortunate touch, and luckily doesn't go all the way in. That was a good look, though. That was a good look. Great save. Boom. Full boost, right? I want speed. But why are we shooting, right? I'm sure now that I'm talking about it, you watching it, you're feeling it too as I go. You see open net. I get it. It looks juicy. It looks nice. I'm excited. There's some value there. But you already know Steve-O's going to be there. So why don't we take a break? We pick up a dribble. Wait for Sandwich to catch up. As you can see, actually, he doesn't even try to catch up, which I wish he did, to go up on your left there and try to generate a play. But instead, what do? We pass the ball right back to Steve-O. Right? Yes, you take their boost. Yes, we can hold some pressure now. Yes, Sandwich very narrowly scores a goal, but we lost the rush play, unfortunately, because of it. Same thing. Why are we jumping, right? Watch. Ball's riding on the wall here. All you got to do is take your time, maybe get a chip, right? Pop it up over the defense. Take your time with all of these touches. Slow down. I'm sure you're seeing my kind of middle ground. I want you full speed, supersonic, right up to every single ball, but I never want you hurling yourself at it, right? I don't want you rushing the touch. I don't want you giving it away. I want you to use your boost to get there and then to save your boost for when you know you can use it, right? So you have plenty of boost right now. Let's just not jump. Let's just pop this ball up, follow it with an aerial, follow it with a dribble, whatever you think you can pull off, whatever's in your specific toolkit needs to be used here. But instead, we jump early, we flip, we pass the ball right back, and they get it clear, right? And then now they can work their own ball out. Same thing. Sandwich has heavy touch, gets popped out. You come in tight. Unfortunately, that's a bit of a cutoff. I would have said let Sandwich keep that one, but I do like this intensity, right? This is what I do want from you, is being able to push these kind of balls, push this stuff on net, really grind, right, out these kind of games and go from there. Great bump. That's what we need right now, right? And you're waiting for Sandwich. You're like, come. And now he comes. Now you generate a little more, and unfortunately, hard to blame you on that one. Just kind of bad bounce, unfortunately. Good try. And now I'm starting to feel the panic a little bit. I'm starting to see the rush. I'm starting to see all that. Great shot again. Good. See, that was beautiful patience. That's what I want from you, right? You made them panic. So you're not flipping, you're not rushing, you're not doing anything. You're just going to see if you can win a 50. I love it. That's perfect. Both of them committed to that, but where's Sandwich Big is in the corner? I was hoping he was in the neutral zone. If he was in the neutral zone, great. He eats those up, right? And can score those. But unfortunately, no offense generated all game. You ended with 4 shots, but you're outshot 10-4 in the long run. Very, very, it's tough, right? And like if you look at this gameplay at its core, it's just good goddamn Rocket League. Nothing more than that. It's just solid Rocket League. There's not a lot of concerns. But I paused so much, and I really tried to break a lot down so you can see that there's always another option, right? Like there's always a different way to solve whatever problem you're having. And more often than not, the quick and easy solution is not it, right? The quick and easy solution is just getting a good hit so that it's not on your head if you screw up because they boom it over you when you're trying to dribble, right? That's the easy solution. But it's not the right one, right? It's not the best way to get there. The best way to get there is, to lose some games because you hold on to the ball too long, but at least now it's not a mental thing, it's a skill thing, right? So your rank will start to represent your skill, not your mindset, right? And unfortunately, especially with you, GoBlue, like you're such a good, solid, safe player, right? Like you don't do a lot wrong. You really just play solid Rocket League, but you are going to start finding yourself hard stuck if you don't start expanding, right? Adding to the toolkit, really reaching out and thinking a little deeper about the game, not just hitting the ball hard, right? And I know you are someone who thinks so deeply about this game, and so that's why I was very critical on you in this review, at least, because I want you to see all these little decision-making things that really can help you out. And I'm hoping in the long run that this is going to be something that, especially with Sandwich Bagel, for instance, you can start implementing together, right? You can start kind of growing what that ends up looking like, and really kind of build on your skills from there. But this was a great replay for me, at least. I had a blast doing this. I think especially just you titling it no offense was great for me, because I knew right away kind of what you were feeling, and I hope I was able to diagnose and dissect some of the things that went wrong, and specifically, and definitely in twos, I know risk taking is hard, because you know that if you screw up, you've started an odd man rush of a 2-on-1, right? Like it feels like if you screw up on your challenge, that it's your fault if the goal goes in, but you really got to start pushing your own kind of safety limits and boundaries to allow yourself to actually be the fast, like I said, like be the lion, like whatever that looks like for you, be the predator of a player that you are. You are going to be hard stuck, unfortunately, if you don't start to push those boundaries. So I hope both my advice on 50s earlier today and what I talked about here helps out, and I hope you learned a couple things, and I hope you can take some value from this. But like I said, I had a blast, so thanks again for submitting this replay. Thank you as always for your support. It's always been a pleasure having you in the community. I love having you around. So thanks again as always, man. This is Combo signing off, and thank you again to GoBlue. This has been another Patreon Rocket League replay review. So have a good one, everybody, and enjoy your upcoming summer.